are now listening to the NYYST
Podcast.
Welcome back. This is episode 202 of the NYYST podcast. I'm your host, Christian, and as always, joined by my co-host, Chris.
Yo!
And we're recording early enough not to interfere with the Eagles game. Stat guy, Rye.
What
Rye.
Eagles Giants today.
Rye, you want to talk shit about the game? I mean,
Wait, can
Fire.
we talk? Can we say something real quick though? Is it true? Because I don't watch any football. Is it true that if the Giants win, they're like in first place?
technically the Eagles still would be because they have less losses, but they would have the same amount of wins as the Eagles.
Gee, that is so fucking depressing.
When's the last time the Giants beat the Eagles?
That is
2000. I think it was 2016.
That's wild. That's how bad this division is.
Well, yeah.
How do you guys even watch?
I honestly, I don't think I have really watched.
I told you it's different for me. I'm really just watching for the coach and the quarterback, like to see if there's anything there going forward.
And no NFL shutdowns really with COVID, right? Even with the spikes going on.
They've had to move some games around.
Yeah, they haven't been too bad.
Good.
Like that Raiders game. Yeah.
By the way, good thing COVID isn't like too lethal for all demographics because I had to get tested. I was exposed. It's been like 4 days. I still don't know if I had it. So
well, you didn't. That's because you didn't tell the testing agency that you play professional sports.
Oh, right. Or that I'm famous.
And
I would have gotten it back right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Exactly. These guys take tests and then they find out their results in 8th inning of baseball games. World Series.
Yeah, Justin Turner. Yeah,
wild.
And he did not get disciplined for either.
And you know what? A whole team fucking cheated a few years back. I don't know if you remember this. The Houston Astros, and they cheated their way to a World Series title. Not one of the players got reprimanded. If that's how you're gonna do things, then why should Turner get?
Is this apples and apples though? To me, it's not.
It is kind of. It is. If you're gonna hold organizations accountable, you hold them accountable. I mean,
but apparently he beat up like 3 security guards, like he was Liam Neeson.
Come on, really?
And to get out to the to the field, like they quarantined him, and he was like, "Oh, I'm not staying here." Red power.
I heard it was more like stealthy. I heard it was more like, yeah, we just saw him. He locked himself in quarantine and whatever, and then he fucking
nothing. You idiots! Dr. Dre's dead. He's locked in my basement.
He crawled through like the fucking
put on a disguise or something, like a little Bobby Valentine.
Like
movie.
Bobby Valentine put the.
First of all, how do you not notice Justin Turner?
Wait, hold on. Are you kidding right now? Like there was really a story with the security that like he had to bypass guards or something?
Yes, that's how he got onto the field.
Guards, yeah.
I have a particular set of skills.
I will find you.
Good luck.
Listen, before we keep fucking bullshitting around here, stop whatever you're doing. Everyone.
No.
Stop what you're doing. If you're driving,
don't stop listening to the show, though.
If you don't stop listening to the show. Pull over if you're driving, or pick up your phone and drive at this point. Who cares? Just kidding. Pull over.
If you get pulled over, just tell the cops you have COVID. They let you go.
That's it. Boom. Done. Leave us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes. We're at 195 ratings right now. I am so sick. They changed the way they do the reviews. We rate at a 4.7 out of 5 stars at 195 reviews. Don't you think they should round up at that point to 5? They still show us at 4.5. Can everyone please stop who loves this show, who listens to the show? Please just take 2 seconds. Leave us a 5-star rating. I don't even give a shit if you leave us a review. Just hit the 5 stars real quick. Hit it like 10 times and just leave us a review, please. Get us back up to 5 stars.
You know you won't get 50 stars, though, right? You understand that?
I don't care. Just put as many ratings through as you can.
And I'm going to say this early because I guess it probably gets lost at the end of the show. Follow us on Twitter at NYY Sports Talk, at Chris Jr. _NYYST, at Stat Guy Rye _NYYST.
Does that mean you don't have to say it again at the end of the show?
I won't say it at the end of the show.
And you know,
shut the fuck up now.
Sorry.
At Christian _ NYYST. We got, I don't know, man. Maybe we had a lot of Trump bots following us.
I know. I was thinking
we got killed.
I was
got killed on followers this
I was
week.
just gonna bring that up. Over the last ever since the election got close and like all social media started suppressing everything and kicking everyone off, we've lost. I mean, it's not just our main account. We were over 8,000 followers.
Our main account got hammered the worst.
I was at 3,100 followers on my personal account. Now I'm back down to like 2990.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that you got hammered.
I don't care. I'll fucking go all out. I'll rip people to shreds.
I actually think I gained 2 followers.
See, Ryan's stuck at 600 followers. Still.
Well, Ryan was in that.
Ryan don't follow anyone but that guy right now. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't really like using Twitter, guys. I don't like using it.
Yeah, I hate Twitter. I really do. I really do. Me and Christian said this. I don't know if it was the show you weren't here, but if it wasn't for this show, I'd probably be on social media. Honestly, I'm just so sick of the bullshit. I'm sick of everything you see is just political now, and you just scroll through. There's nothing,
and it's nothing true.
It's all
side
all, it's all right. It's all fake bullshit. Like people don't care what they're
to their side.
Posting exactly. And you know what? That's social media's fault. If you do your homework on what social media does, it's all by design. And so it is frustrating. You go through and you just see ignorant people posting bullshit on both sides. And it's just dumb now.
Yeah,
I'm over it now.
Whatever side you're on, that's what you're seeing.
I'm over it now.
Yeah, so it's a lot of it.
And it's like, just give me Yankee baseball again. I just want it. All I'm hoping for at this point, this is the only thing that matters to me as far as life goes right now, outside of my family, obviously, just big picture stuff like sports and the show. Just give me a full season next year and let us come to the stadium. Like, just give me a 162 game season.
You think you'll get 162? Because
I think we'll get 162. I do.
I don't. It's weird because NHL and the NBA are coming back with shortened seasons, but not. I think NBA's Ryan maybe
72.
Yeah, but that's different though.
70
no, it's different because last year's season got delayed.
I understand that, but will Major League Baseball get to a point where they're like, maybe we need to push the season back a little bit? Maybe
I don't think so. And here's why.
I mean, we're still far away from it, but I'm just saying, like, will Major League Baseball get to that point where they're like, maybe we should do spring training in March instead of February, and we'll
here's the thing:
140 instead of 162.
Now, because here's the thing: by the time baseball rolls back around, it's really coming towards the end of flu season. They're expecting COVID at that point to start tapering off again. Hopefully this vaccine's out by then. And let's not beat around the bush here. As real and as serious as this virus can be, they also used it politically on both sides. And if Biden's inaugurated at the end of January, I promise you he will be the hero, right? Because this is the narrative that's being pushed. He'll be the hero. And by the time March rolls around, everyone, it'll pretty much be gone. The vaccines will be, given, and I think we'll have a normal season. I really do.
You know what? The only thing I voted for in this election was legalizing weed in New Jersey.
Hell yeah!
You know what's funny?
Exactly.
I left my ballot blank except for that.
I was so selfless when I voted.
It said president of you. It said vote for president, and I wrote weed. I wrote right in weed.
Hell yeah!
In 2024, we should campaign, the three of us, for everyone to write in our names on the ballot and screenshot it to us, and we'll give away a prize and see who gets the most votes.
I don't think you can screenshot your ballot, right?
Is that legal? Yeah, it's probably legal.
I don't want to be president. Do you want to be? You really want to be president?
No, I just want to say I got a presidential vote. Nice. I really do.
Well, then I can't. Just write your own name.
Christian is technically the only one here that.
I'll tell you what, I don't smoke weed anymore. I did.
No, Chris would be old enough, right? You'd be old enough in 4 years to run for president.
Oh yeah, 4 years. We're talking campaigning.
Shit, I'll be 1 year over. I'll tell you what, I voted yes for weed for everyone else in my life who smokes weed, which is literally, I think, everyone. But if edibles are legal soon, I might hit up a couple edibles. I'm not gonna lie.
It's gonna take like 2 years.
I just can't do that. I can't smoke anymore.
I don't know if I'm actually. I haven't smoked weed in the entire time I've known my wife, which has been
For 20 years.
how long have we been
420.
together?
420.
You just said 420.
14 years, right?
Jesus
I
Christ.
don't know if I'll actually start smoking weed again, but I just don't see the point in it being illegal.
Yeah.
I just don't see the point in it.
Yeah.
Would they let you drink alcohol and get fucked up off alcohol, but they tell you weed is bad?
And you know what?
Trust me, I've done both.
If you're listening to the show right now and you're like,
and
please
it's
just
not.
talk about Yankees, you know what? Fuck you. Because there's not much to get to. So we're going to talk about weed. And
You were probably smoking weed while you're listening to this.
you probably, everyone is. You drink, Jules. You drunk. I would definitely do a couple edibles though. Maybe
Don't tell me that you quote Half Baked, but you never smoked weed in your life. Like, oh, I don't smoke weed, but Half Baked's the funniest movie in the world. How is it funny to you?
I
How's it
love
funny?
Half Baked. Such a good movie.
You can't watch that movie sober though. It's all.
How High was pretty good too.
I was high when I watched it. I don't remember.
I think everyone was high when they watched that. I think that's the only way it was good. Is if
I've tried watching Half Baked sober, and I'm like, this is the worst movie ever.
By the way, before we get into real content, I have a bone to pick with you guys. I was going through some of our old videos last night. How the fuck did you let me get that fat? Like, I know you tried, Christian, and like you not so nicely, not so politely told me to start wearing wife beaters because my titties were all over the place. But Jesus, man, I was on the brink of death, I think.
No, see, that's why
I was
said that
massive.
No, that's why I said if you got COVID now, you'd be okay. But if you had COVID like 3 months ago, you'd die.
Dead. Like anyone who's listening to this, who's a newer listener who doesn't know Punch on the Pod, if you go back to the Punch on the Pod episode, which the teaser I did for that was phenomenal, by the way. But when you go back to the episode where Ryan punches me in the face, I think it was about 6 months ago or so, and just compare it to now, I look like I'm
I don't think
just
I'd
a
hit you
beach
now.
whale.
I think I'd miss you.
Jesus.
See,
God.
he ate that because he was so big. Now,
now it would actually really rock my jaw. Now it would rock.
Yeah, I'd hit your
but
jaw.
you still have to, now that you brought off bets that you
I know,
off,
I still have to
pay
dye
off
my hair.
that bet.
I know, dude.
Oh yeah.
You know what? I'll get dye myself.
No. All right, you can if you want.
But
But
you know, I will plan a weekend.
I have it in my shopping. I have it in my shopping cart. No, I was just gonna send it to you from Amazon. Wait, I'm gonna go on my Amazon right now. I think I have it in my shopping cart.
And we'll do it, and we'll record it.
Because I was trying to find a good one. Oh yeah, wait. Creative image adored Jet Black.
What was that bet? We did Yankee trivia. Again,
Yankee trivia.
Yeah.
you guys need more Yankee content. Go back to some of our older episodes. We did guess that Yankee. Those are great segments.
Yeah,
Ryan beat me in the trip
again over the off season.
What do I have to do? I have to dye half my head.
Yeah, half your hair.
We're just gonna have your hair.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we're gonna dye it jet black. So
you
it's
can
like you look
shave.
at you.
I mean, your hair's pretty long right now. You can shave half of it.
I just got a haircut. It's actually great haircut. So,
all right. How did you format the show, by the way? Like, what's up first?
whatever you want, man. I actually like my tweet. I think we should start with my tweet that I put out because I think it's a really good topic for us to discuss. How do you feel about that? I think that leads us to the rest.
I think it's completely pointless.
No, it's really not. Because
I'm not saying that because it's yours. I'm just saying because
I don't think it's pointless because I want to hear what your top priority is. I want to hear what
viral on a tweet.
So I tweeted out for people to leave me a response. If hypothetically the Yankees could only make one move, what move would you want that to be? Now let's just narrow it down to the 3 moves that are up on the table right now. That would be re-signing DJ, trading for Lindor, RE-. Don't give Christian Ajita. Re-sign DJ, trade for Lindor, or sign Bauer.
Gardner.
And you could even throw in Tanaka and that shit. But those are the top 3, right? Bauer, trade for Lindor, or sign DJ. If the Yankees can only make one of those moves, what would you? Because for me, I'm torn because I think letting DJ walk is such a fucking mistake, man. Such a mistake. But if you're telling me Trevor Bauer's on a realistic option right now, I don't know, man. I might have to take Bauer.
Okay, then Tyler Wade, your starting shortstop.
No.
Then
I
who
mean,
is?
oh yeah. Well, if that's the one move, yeah, I guess. Or you leave Torres there and you put Wade at second. But
Okay, so Tyler Wade is a starting player for the New York Yankees.
okay. I mean, you're getting Trevor Bauer.
That's not
You're getting
okay.
Trevor
So
Bauer.
wait, it's one move, right? So you're
Hypothetically,
making
one
Bauer,
move.
but now the Yankees can't make any move, or they can't make the Lindor move or the DJ move.
No, they can't make any move. It's just
Okay,
a hypothetical
okay,
one move in the offseason.
Twitter user. I don't want to do any of these things. Shut the fuck up, because that's not what I wanted to get out of you.
Man, if it is just one move.
So pretty much what I'm asking you is, DJ, if it came down to DJ, signing DJ
Lindor.
or signing Trevor Bauer, fuck Lindor for right now. Trevor Bauer or DJ, which one would you take?
If it was one move, I would take DJ.
Really?
Because so then, like, if you're going to sign Bauer, then there's other free agents out there that you can go out and get or trade for a second baseman or maybe even a shortstop. But if you're telling me that there's only one move to be made, and then it's Trevor Bauer, and then Tyler Wade, you're starting second baseman or starting shortstop.
Let's make this more realistic real quick. Let's say they can make other moves, but between signing DJ or signing Bauer, they can only do one.
All right. So if you could tell me then that they could maybe go out and sign a DD, sign somebody that I'm not thinking of off the top of my head.
They could even trade for Lindor. I mean, they could
even, yeah, I would, if it's between Bauer and LeMahieu, I would take Bauer.
Christian? What I'm asking you is DJ that, I mean, we love
well, now you're telling me, when is Luis Severino coming back? When is
June or July?
On my rotation?
June or July, and we don't even know. Yeah, we don't even know what Sevy's going to give us, right? I mean, that's like going to be the biggest question mark of 2021.
Well, I don't know. Now we're the Mets think that they can get what's his face back a lot earlier than June or July. Didn't he have surgery after?
Who?
Severino did?
Syndergaard?
Syndergaard.
Oh. Strowman, that fucking loser. We should really touch on that at the end of the show. Syndergaard. When do they think Syndergaard can come back now?
Like April or May.
Okay. So what does that have to do with us?
Because don't we have a starting pitcher that has Tommy John surgery, and didn't he have it before?
Yeah, but we're the Yankees.
Look that up.
But we're the Yankees. I mean, anything.
And they're the Mets. Do you think they got such a stellar history with
hey, Mets
players?
Are trending upwards, bro. Steve Cohen, I'm telling you right now, maybe it's all a front. I don't know. Steve Cohen or Mr. Cohen, I don't want to call Mr. Cohen and offend any reporters. But it looks like if you're a Met fan right now, you're feeling very optimistic, regardless of what happens. You're just feeling good for once.
Yeah, 100% after that press conference this past week. But Severino had his Tommy John a month before Syndergaard.
John.
But Chris, just to expand on that question, you have to look at what's the value that what do the Yankees need and what's out there. There's not a lot of great starting ace caliber starting pitchers available. There's only a handful in the league. Now you're talking about who's available. And they have a chance to get one of the top pitchers in baseball right now in free agency.
If you can go back to back with Cole and Bauer right now,
back to back with Cole and Bauer,
June, July,
look at the free agents or the options that would be available as far as middle infielders go. I mean, the next 2 years you're going to have Trevor Story, Francisco Lindor, Carlos Correa, Nolan. I don't know if Nolan Arenado. Did I say Trevor Story? Chris Bryant.
Arenado can opt out, and the Rockies are looking to trade him anyway.
So do you think
you have to go Bauer over LeMahieu? Not have to.
No, you
but
don't have to.
No, you don't have to. I rephrased, but in terms of what the value is out there, I don't see.
Do you think Cashman's getting a little sneaky right now, and that's kind of why DJ hasn't been as much of a priority as we thought? That maybe he's thinking like, hey, I'm going to get a shortstop here. I'm going to need to move Torres over to second, and I'm going to get Bauer. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get Bauer. But then you look at what Hal's been saying, and they seem pretty set on staying under the luxury tax. So I don't know. I mean, the fact that we have to even question this right now, The fact that we have to even just think about the luxury tax is honestly sickening to me. It really is.
No, we're
You know,
poor now.
if this was
We know that.
if this was 2 years ago, that's a different story. And
We're poor now.
we backed all those decisions when the Yankees made them. But I can't
Yeah, because like,
defend
dude,
that
it's
anymore.
like you can't tell me like 1 year and then now we got to get under. No,
Yeah, no.
you got to give me a sustained run. Give me a couple of years here before we pull the plug on this thing.
You know, the only thing that makes me optimistic that Hal would back down from that statement of wanting to stay under is because we know how competitive they are with what the Mets organization does.
How competitive his father was.
Well, even Hal. I mean, even Hal with Cashman, their egos get in the way of that. They want to be. They can't live with the Mets having an owner spending all this money and putting a better team on the field right
His
now.
father couldn't. There's a big
I don't think
difference
he can either, though.
No, I think it's a little bit different between the two of them. If George was there, I'd be 100% agreement with you. But I
How
think Hal
great-
sees things
How
differently.
great was that last week with Ron Bloomberg? Awesome interview, by the way. Check that episode
really
out
good.
as well. His Steinbrenner stories were amazing. Just what this guy meant to the organization when he was here. It's so much different than now. But again, I don't mind it. I don't mind that Cashman's kind of running the team, but you got to give me something more this year. You can't just back down now. I'm sorry.
If you look at it logically, do the Yankees need somebody to slot in behind Cole more than they need a second baseman? Probably. But we're not talking about a second baseman. We're talking about the guy that's been your best player for the last 2 years.
No, I know. I mean, one of the best players in baseball, really.
No, definitely.
Definitely. In all aspects. And, you know, you tweeted this, Christian. I don't know what the exact tweet was. I think you called him a douchebag in it, but we forget about Domingo Germán. I mean, when he'll be back. He's playing what? He's playing winter ball?
Yeah.
Or what? So, you know, Domingo Germán's going to be back. And if Domingo Germán can put together a good season in winter ball and be as effective as he was a couple of years ago, he's another big arm to slot into this rotation. It's just too many. It's too many what ifs going into 2021.
Well, that's why they need to sign Trevor Bauer. I mean, even though there's a lot to not like about him too. He's had 2 seasons where he's had an ERA under 4.
Yeah,
and
but
one of them was last year.
He's really honed it in, dude.
Yeah, well, you know, one of them was last year, and if you really want to do a deep dive, he played against the AL and NL Central. There's not a lot of big hitting clubs in those 2 divisions there.
No, I know, I get it, but you know what? When he's available, and you haven't won a World Series since 2009, and you can add him to a rotation that already has Gerrit Cole, I don't know if you can say no to that.
You know who he's going to be if he comes to the Yankees?
Sonny Gray,
AJ Burnett.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't compare anyone to AJ Burnett, please.
Why? You know what? The difference between AJ Burnett and Sonny Gray is AJ Burnett showed up in big games occasionally.
He did. Hey, look, 2009, as much as CeCe was the backbone to that rotation, if Burnett doesn't show up in a couple of those big games, they probably don't win a World Series.
You know, you just look at that World Series where in Game 2 he showed up, dominated, and then what was it? I think it was Game 5. We had a chance to clinch it. He got bombed. So, you know, I just have a feeling Trevor Bauer might be the same way if he came here. But, you know, it worked with AJ Burnett. Why don't we try it with Trevor Bauer? You know,
I think Trevor Bauer is a much better pitcher than
Bauer.
Burnett ever was.
He had a 2.21 ERA in 2018, then a 4.48 in 2019. But that was split. He got traded in 19 to the Reds when he was with the Indians, 24 starts, a 3.79 ERA. So, and then this year, the COVID season, 1.73 Cy Young Award.
He just can't be doing dumb things when he's here, like throwing the ball into center field or whatever the hell he did when he was with the Indians.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he's a little whacked, but I like that. I think the award, and I swear to God, I would say this even if DJ won MVP, which is laughable. That would never happen. He's still technically a Yankee during that season, so he'd never get the votes. But even if DJ won or whatever, I would never hold those awards to full standard. Like the World Series is different. I give the Dodgers all the credit, but like those awards are bullshit to me.
Yeah, especially if somebody sat there and actually decided that Alex Verdugo deserved a vote in the MVP.
How about Jeff? Did you see Jeff? How do you say his last name? Passan?
Yeah.
Did you see his Cy Young? He voted. He didn't even have Gerrit. I'm not saying Gerrit Cole should have even come close to Cy Young, but I think he finished 4th or 5th
Yeah.
in voting. Passan didn't even have him on his top 5. He had some pitcher I never even heard of. I mean, these writers just hate Yankees that much. There's that much of a bias.
I don't know, dude. It's just like, I know that it was like a 5th place vote, but like, who sat there and decided the top 5 players in Major League Baseball and that you were going to write Alex Verdugo's name in there? Like, who?
Yeah.
Like, you just can't take this stuff seriously.
Nah, you can't.
Like that.
You can't. But anyway, I don't know. I just thought that was interesting because what I was trying to gauge was, do Yankee fans put more priority on getting DJ back here because we know how good he is and how good of a Yankee he is? Or are you taking Trevor Bauer? And I think it was pretty split. By the time all the replies came in on the thread, I'd say it was pretty evenly split of the fucking answer's DJ and nothing else. You're stupid if you say anything else. And other people saying Trevor Bauer 100%. So we'll see how it plays out. Maybe the Yankees get neither.
Here's something that I want to bring up here.
Is this one of your tweets?
Yeah, but before we actually get into let me see this here. You guys know who George Springer is?
Yes, of course. I actually like George. I got to say, I actually like George Springer.
This is why I brought this up, because he's a free agent. And I tweeted, I said, just simple yes or no. I don't need any more complicated than this. Do you want the Yankees to go after George Springer? And I brought
90% of people didn't listen to you. They said.
And I brought this up because I actually do want the Yankees to go after George Springer. I know he is he'll be in his age 32 season. He'll turn 32 in 2021, late in the year. And he probably will command, like a Jacoby Ellsbury type contract somewhere. But he's a really good baseball player, and he's a winner. And he's a center fielder.
Yeah. I mean, look, if you didn't have Hicks,
I get it. He's another right-handed hitter, but to me, I don't know, man. It's somebody that I would, if I know the Yankees are never going to do it. I understand that 100%, especially that they're seemingly under payroll constraints.
Mm-hmm.
I just think this is a guy that you really need to take a look at, man. And it's at the expense of Aaron Hicks, who I would really like Hicks a lot better if he was a roving guy to play, spell guys in the outfield.
Yeah, I got to say, I don't disagree with you in the sense of George Springer, the player. I think he's a great player, and he's the one Astro that I actually like. But it just doesn't make sense to me in any way. If you were telling me he was coming in, you could get him for cheap. That's one thing, but the Yankees are so set in the outfield, and I truly believe Gardner will be a Yankee within the upcoming weeks as depth. And you have a guy in Clint Fraser who really established himself. He was up for a Gold Glove this year. He's a great hitter. We all know that. Hicks stayed healthy this year finally, and you know what? In a full season, 162 games, he gets on base a lot. I like Hicks out there, and you got to hope Judge stays healthy. I mean, really, you don't. When you're looking at it in a sense of how are we allocating our money now if we're trying to stay within a budget, George Springer makes absolutely no sense to me.
No, I said that because of the money situation. But if you're looking to, I really think this is a guy that they should really try to take a look at here. They won't. I understand that, but
no, like in terms of George Springer,
you go Springer, Frazier, and Judge is your outfield with Hicks as your fourth outfielder. I like that a lot better than Hicks, Judge, Frazier with Guardy as my fourth outfielder.
He's a big game player too. Look up his home run numbers in the postseason.
He's a postseason guy.
He's
And
fourth
if
all
and if
time.
one of these guys from the Astros kind of escapes that scumbag
It's
feeling that
definitely
you have
Springer.
about him, it's him.
Well, I'll say two
So
things. I think if Stanton wasn't on this team, I'd have a much different outlook, because then you'd have an open DH spot where you can really rotate these guys, fit them in the lineup every single day. But the second thing, to the point of Springer not being a scumbag, I don't know if you watched that special. I don't know what it was on. I think ESPN. He actually has a speech impediment. Did you know that?
yeah,
George
I
Springer?
did.
And he
Yes.
really takes his time to work with kids with speech impediments. He just seems like an overall just a really nice guy.
He seemed to be the one guy that stayed out of that. Yeah, we cheated, but we're still
Yeah.
champions, so go fuck yourself attitude that they all had.
Yeah, he's more of a genuine guy, you can tell.
He's got, how
So-
about this? 19 home runs in only 292 plate appearances in the postseason. That's fourth all time. All right. So Derek Jeter, third with 2,734 plate appearances.
How many home runs?
He's got 19 home runs in 292. Manny Ramirez is first all time in career postseason home runs with 29. He
So
has
he's
29 and
fourth all time.
200. Yes, 200 more plate appearances Manny Ramirez has, and he only has 8 more home runs.
Tell me
Springer.
all
So
three
Springer,
guys. So who is it?
all right,
Manny.
I'll give you the top 4. Manny Ramirez, 29 home runs, 493 plate appearances. Bernie Williams, 2 at 22 home runs. Jeter, 3, 20. Pujols and Springer are tied at 4 with 19.
But you know what? Your biggest point there is the at bats.
Yeah, no, that's a very, very high amount.
Wow.
In just 292 plate appearances. So in that sense, yes, George Springer, the player, is definitely worth signing. But when you hear these luxury tax rumors, when you look at the Yankees depth chart, there's just, in my opinion, no way that the Yankees even put out a flyer on this guy. When you have Clint Fraser, when you have Aaron Hicks, and you
All right,
signed,
trade them both then. Get rid of them.
And you know what?
and you have you have Clint, you have Jason Dominguez in the back end too. So if you're going to give him a Jacoby Ellsbury type deal, a
That's just
7-year deal,
that kid is just a myth to me until I see him on the baseball field.
I hear you, but I mean,
Because how
when
many
you look
times
at-
Estevan Florial, remember him?
yeah,
I hate him
this
now.
kid looks. It's a prospect though, so yeah, until he's out there, you can't say anything. But a switch hitter that, is what, 18, 19 years old. That's right when Juan Soto came up. So if you're going to give him a shot, it's going to be right when that Hicks contract is on its way out.
Yeah, I don't care. I want to win this year, and I think George
I know.
Springer is better
I
than
can't-
Aaron
Well,
listen,
Hicks.
then how about
I
Michael
can't
Brantley
argue.
then at that point? How about Michael
Everyone's
Brantley?
talking about
Okay, Evan Roberts. Okay,
Oh, why
Evan
Brantley?
Roberts.
He said
But
Brantley.
Matt-
Bro, I'm so sick.
But you're
First
mad.
of all, let me just say this right now. I have a man crush on Gerrit Cole. It's the off season, so you got bumped from my number 1 spot. I mean, I got such a man crush on Craig Carton right now. I don't know what it is.
Me too. All right.
I never really listened to him and Boomer, because just
Didn't work
my
out.
schedule. Yeah, because of my schedule at the time. Like I wasn't really in the car a lot at that time, so I didn't really hear him. I didn't really get the full effect of Craig. But I must have watched that documentary like 4 times.
Great documentary. Really great.
Even if you're not into Carton, just dude, the second half of it with the shit that he got himself into and why he's in
Jesus
jail
Christ.
and why he went to jail. But I've loved their show so far this past week.
Yeah, they've
I
done a
really
really
have.
good job.
But dude, Evan is just killing me with the Yankees should go after Daniel Murphy and Michael Brantley, left-handed batters that go bat on ball.
That is who I would have to agree with.
Ryan is
Daniel
the Evan Roberts.
Murphy.
Maybe I'd be
Daniel
more
Murphy, though?
I'd be more hesitant with Murphy. I'd be more hesitant with Murphy because you're locked in at DH with Stanton. But I would definitely look into Brantley. If you're talking about replacing DJ LeMahieu, a contact guy, you'd want him to be replaced with contact guys. Michael Brantley, contact guy. Murphy, contact guy.
But Murphy
Not
sucks.
bad. I'm a big Evan
Daniel
Roberts
Murphy's-
fan.
Murphy had one good year.
Daniel Murphy sucks. Let's be honest. Whatever.
sucks.
He sucks because the one good thing that he can do, he can hit. He can't play defense. So if you're bringing him in here to replace, I guess if you want to replace DJ LeMahieu, it solves absolutely nothing because then Gleyber Torres still has to play shortstop. So now you have your middle infield, Daniel Murphy and Gleyber Torres.
You
Good
get
luck.
Didi, you get Brantley, you get Murphy on 1 or 2 year deals. You bring them in temporary, and then you worry about long term.
I just don't see
Next
a
year
reunion.
in the
I just
future
don't see a
when Dominguez is
reunion.
up. When Dominguez is up and these shortstops become available in free agency, that's when the Yankees are going to make the push. Because in my opinion, this whole DJ LeMahieu signing thing, it's very similar in my mind to Patrick Corbin versus Gerrit Cole. You can go out and you could sign Patrick Corbin, or you can wait a year or two and get the big guy in Gerrit Cole. Do you want to sign LeMahieu right now and limit yourself from getting a bigger name? I know,
Ryan,
I understand
this is
that.
completely different, though, in my opinion.
I disagree that it's completely different because there's better options
DJ
available in the future. But
DJ
what did DJ LeMahieu get you though, guys? What did we get? What did the Yankees get?
He was, first of all,
A
there's
better
a difference
team.
between
bumped.
Doesn't matter.
There's a difference between Corbin and Cole, because we knew Cole was better. We knew that Cashman had a
Game
hard
7
on
of
for
the World
Gerrit
Series.
Cole.
So
I understand that, but you're gonna make the comparison. Now, we knew how much that Brian Cashman loved Gerrit Cole, so we knew that's different right there. Another thing is, neither one of these guys were in your clubhouse. DJ LeMahieu's been in your clubhouse the last 2 years, been your best player for the last 2 years. So what you're getting out of DJ LeMahieu.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, the Yankees haven't won anything.
Would you say the reason why the Yankees have lost the last 2 years?
No, but you're missing my point in that they're not going to spend the way that you're expecting them to spend. This isn't the team that you think it is anymore. And if they're not going to spend the way you think they're going to spend, then they have to spend smartly. And yes, LeMahieu's been here, and yes, LeMahieu has been their best player. But if they're not going to spend the way you want them to, then LeMahieu doesn't fit anymore with this team, because they have to spend their money smarter.
Let me counter that then. You don't think the Yankees will spend, my opinion is that it'll probably end around $400 for $100 million with DJ.
Yes, I think that's.
You don't think that's not considered spending smartly, but they're going to go out there and give another shortstop, hand out another $300 million contract, which is what it will take to get one of these guys on this team.
And you know what? Right now, we're in a much different spot than we were when Patrick Corbin was available and all that was going on right now. Back then, right now, we're in a much different spot where we know the pieces that we need, and DJ was one of those pieces that fits this puzzle. We need him back, and then we need to add on to that. And it's no more like waiting till next year for better players. If we can get DJ back, and you can sign a guy like Bauer, or something in that area, this team's ready to go. You need Sevy to come back healthy. There's no more waiting for next year anymore. If they're going to spend, it's got to be now.
And Ryan, I understand that your point that maybe Lindor or Story or even Carlos Correa are all free agents and they're better players than DJ LeMahieu, but we talked about this. Sometimes the parts fit better than the talent
I'm not even saying that they're better players. I'm just saying that when you hear how they plan on spending, I don't know if LeMahieu fits into what they plan on doing this offseason.
I get exactly what you're saying. I just feel like your point you're making is valid, but I just feel like if that's the Yankees mindset, it's not the right mindset to have.
And I'm telling you, my point is, I don't think Brian Cashman, under any financial constraints, is okay with Tyler Wade being a starting player for this team. So regardless of whether or not DJ LeMahieu is on this team, somebody is going to come in and play a middle infield position for this team. So they'll have to spend money somewhere.
You can't have a shortstop that's constantly running off the field
to poop.
No, I hear you. My mindset is maybe it would be best right now to go more of a short-term commitment. And I don't know if LeMahieu. I don't think four for 100 gets it done. I don't think it does.
I think 4 for 100.
I think you're going to need 5 to 6 years on that contract. I'm pretty sure. I think he's going to get 5 or 6 years from somewhere else.
The only reason why that would happen,
but it is COVID season.
Because of COVID, and teams are not going to be willing to go the extra mile. Maybe that they would in a different scenario. Would be a straight fucking spite move by Steve Cohen.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. There's going to be someone out there that's, for some reason, whether it be out of spite or out of wanting this guy.
And then DJ can make the decision whether or not he wants to be on a winner or he wants to go to the Mets.
Hey, Mets are a fresh team, bro.
All right, so
If you're telling me the Yankees sign LeMahieu, I don't care about the years. I mean, I don't care about the money. If you're telling me it's a 4-year deal, then yes, I am on board completely
I think
with what you're saying, because in my mind, I'm thinking short term right now, because that's how this team is operating. It seems they want to slowly get under this tax, and I'm just trying to keep that in mind when I'm thinking about what moves they might make.
can I be honest with you? Here's exactly how I think it's going to go. I think the Yankees are going to, what would 3 for 80 be? About 26?
3.
20. I think they come in 3 for 80. I think
it would be 26.6.
Yeah, I think they're going to go more per year instead of go with the extra year to start. I think DJ's team counters with 4 for 100, and I think they settle on 4 for 90. I really do. I think that's how it's going to go.
Yeah, we got to see how this market plays out.
There was some blog out there that predicted DJ was going to the Blue Jays for like $16 million.
That blog should shut down immediately. And I'll eat my words if that's true, but
if he goes to the Blue Jays, it won't be for cheap. It won't be for less than.
If he goes to the Blue Jays, I'm not watching next season. So
no, if the Yankees let DJ LeMahieu sign inside the division, then I'm going to set a fire outside of Yankee Stadium.
You're on the list.
I don't care. Who cares, right? So just to wrap up the Springer point, I got like 123 replies on this.
Ooh.
I was gonna actually count them, but I didn't because I got lazy last night. I would say it's probably close to 110 that said no, they didn't want George Springer. Now, at some point I'm probably going to go back and retrace this, but how out of those 110, how many of them do you think replied no because he's an Astro and had nothing to do with what he does on the field?
At least 90.
Yeah, I'm going with that too.
Right, that's my feeling. There's at least 90 out of those 110.
Yeah, and then they just don't know who he is because we said it before. He's just not the typical Astro that you hate right now. He's just not.
19 dingies, 19 postseason dangs. I'll take that.
The guy hit 39 home runs and drove in 96 runs in 2019, and he played 120 something games. Yeah,
he's got pop.
Did he know what pitch was coming then though? Or no?
I don't think
maybe
so.
a little bit.
Probably maybe a little.
Oh, they had the buzzards in 2019.
They did the buzzer, yeah. That's okay though. We could buzz them over here.
All right, so let's move on to the Mets here real quick before we get into more Yankee stuff. So Steve Cohen, owner,
Mr. Cohen.
Mr. Cohen, show him some respect. Put some respect on his name. Make yourself feel demeaned.
Andrew Marchand says, do not call him Mr. because he's wealthy and we can't respect wealthy people in this country. So,
hard work means nothing.
Means nothing.
I don't know. Maybe he schemed his way to the top. Still, I figured, it was a hard working scheme.
I told my kids after I read that tweet, I said, when you go to school, don't call your teacher Mr. and Mrs. Ask him how much they make per year first. And if it's over a certain amount, then you call them by their first name.
It's in Jersey, it's 42.5. So.
42.5. Okay.
So then they can call. So then they can call them what? Do they have to call him Mr. Smith or do they call him Steve?
Mr. or Mrs. is fine at that point. If they're making over 80 and they're tenured at that point, then you call them by their first name.
Then you just call them Steve and Mary.
Yeah.
Hey, Mary. I didn't.
Or you just say, hey, you, get over here.
Oh, you don't even have to call them by their first name.
Yeah, no.
Like, bitch.
Yeah, bitch.
Bitch, I didn't do my homework last night.
Bitch.
All right, so Steve Cohen had his introductory press conference. He said that he's not worried about the Yankees. His MO is to build a winner in Queens, which I respected that answer because the Met owner should not be taking shots at the Yankees, but that the Met fans think there's a new war now. There's a war in town.
Maybe this gets Mets fans off our backs a little though. Maybe they feel a little better about themselves now.
Not for nothing, and I think Evan Roberts did bring this up on his show, but now it's not that they expect to sign every big-time free agent, but they're in the conversation. Like, you knew the Mets had no shot at Gerrit Cole, but
right
now they have a shot at. They could have, if Gerrit Cole was a free agent this year, they could have had a shot at him. Just like now, if the Wilpon's still on the team, there was no way they were going to get involved in Lindor or Springer or Real Muto or Bauer, but now they're in the conversation with these guys. Here's why I bring this up. Is there a new war between the Yankees and the Mets because of Steve Cohen and his money? There are reports out there that the Mets are going to extend an offer to Masahiro Tanaka.
That would really hurt. That would really hurt.
To me, look, I love Tanaka, and I would love to see him back as like the fifth starter on this team to anchor the back end of this rotation. To me, that's another spite move. It's just to sign a Yankee at that point. So if the Mets go out there and sign Masahiro Tanaka, are you declaring war on Queens?
No, because
there's a fight. That's a fight right there.
Now, see, here's where for me, as tough as it would be to see him in another uniform, especially,
and I don't know if Tanaka would do that. I think
I don't know. Yeah, he's loyal.
Realize
good point there.
I think Tanaka would realize what that is all about.
He's being used. He's a pawn.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
But here's the thing for me: as much as it would kill me to see Tanaka in another uniform, especially in a Mets uniform, I'm not getting into a bidding war over Masahiro Tanaka right now.
No. I mean, between the fans,
you're just saying, okay, so you're saying a personal feel. Fuck yeah. Oh, hell yeah. I mean, I definitely.
Do we go and curb stomp Met fans after that?
Yeah, absolutely. But listen, here's where I'm going to say this about Steve Cohen. If he has any set of balls like he says he does, he is extending an offer quietly, silently to DJ LeMahieu that he can't refuse. He is calling him up.
That's what I said 2 weeks ago.
Yep, you did. If he has any balls, that will be what he does. I'm not saying that DJ signs there. I'm just saying you'll hear reports that Steve Cohen's trying to talk to him.
No, and that's the only guy that puts a little bit of fear into me that would blow the Yankees offer out of the water is Steve Cohen because of this spite move.
And do they really even need him? I mean, do the Mets really need DJ? I mean, everyone needs DJ LeMahieu, but
I mean, I don't think.
But I mean, that would be a true.
I still think Tanaka would give that same message if they went out and signed Tanaka. That it would be.
Yeah, but I also don't think the Yankees really care one way or the other. I think they would like Tanaka back.
Yeah, no, I don't think it would sting as much, but I think the motive there would.
No, the motive there is the same. Yeah, like. Eric Kratz announced his retirement, but like even something dumb like that to sign Eric Kratz, like just look at whoever is a free agent on the Yankees. Somebody will be a Met in 2021.
I think he's got to make a power. He's got to make a power move, is what you're saying.
Yeah, well, his power move should be improving his ball club and not tweaking the Yankees. That's what his power move should be. That's why, he put this 3 to 5 year window on the Mets winning a World Series. And, I had a little back and forth with Brandon Tierney on Twitter about this because he said this might be completely hyperbolic, that Steve Cohen owning the Mets now is the biggest off-field move in the history of New York sports, which I said was completely hyperbolic because I still think in the realm of things, you can say maybe George Steinbrenner owning the Yankees was a much bigger move in the history of New York sports because we had just come off the interview with Ron Bloomberg, and he told you how much CBS didn't give a shit about the Yankees. And then George came in there and said, no, I own the fucking Yankees and I'm going to treat them as such.
And they're going to cut their hair and they're not going to have facial hair and they're going to win.
In the long run, could Steve Cohen owning the Mets be a bigger move? It depends on what happens to the Mets.
Let's see.
Especially if they don't win in that 3 to 5 year. That was his biggest mistake in his introductory press conference, is that he put a time frame on them winning. We all know how that works if you don't
listen. Here's my thing to you though. You're kind of making it as, they should just focus on making the team better and not focus on taking a jab at the Yankees. But Steve Cohen has a lot of momentum going his way. The fan base is finally excited about something. And he has an opportunity. He knows how petty Mets fans are. He has an opportunity to really take a jab at the Yanks, excite the fan base even more, and still make his team better.
Right.
I mean, if you're telling me guys like Tanaka or DJ are going to be his jab, I mean, you're still making your team better. It's still not a bad move.
No,
so that's why I think he should try and do something like that.
No, I don't think Tanaka makes them that much better. I think that's just
I don't know though. I think Tanaka could profile very well at making half of the starts at Citi Field.
I think he would pitch well there, but I think them going after Tanaka is just like
Can they move the walls back? Can they move the walls back where they were?
it always seemed to me that the Mets in recent years were making moves for two reasons. One, to be cheap, and two is to spite the Yankees. You see the guys that they sign, Cano, a player like Jay Bruce, who they wouldn't return the Yankees phone call on, stuff like that has kind of always lingered. No, it's Jay Bruce.
Jay Bruce.
And they did it twice then.
Yeah.
Oh, and they did it. All right.
It was,
so there
it
you
was
go.
both of them.
And then you sign like an Eduardo Nunez, hoping you can find some magic in there. And, guys like that were former Yankees.
Look, Robertson Cano's on the Mets because Brody Van Wagenen is a moron.
Yeah.
That's.
And look, the Mets over the last.
Dellin Betances is there now.
Ever since the shit went down with Bernie Madoff. The Mets have been a shell of themselves as an organization. Any big move they made was so irrelevant, and they tried to they treated their fan base like they were stupid, like they were making these big time moves, and it was really just to hope that people would still take them seriously. And their fans showed up because, you know what, as much as we want to rip Mets fans, they are pretty loyal. And they still showed up, but they got this beautiful new stadium and a shit team put out there almost every year.
But now you look at their new owner, he's got the largest net worth of all owners, $14.6 billion. Dude, this guy is going to spend last year or 2 years ago when the reports were like when the deal was first going through before it fell through, he was originally going to get the team like a year or two ago.
Yeah, earlier in the year.
He spent more money on a painting than the Mets paid than the Mets entire payroll in 2018. Like 20
No, I get it. Right. And here's my point about the money, right?
Yeah.
You got to spend it wisely.
Absolutely. 100%.
Look at
he's going to spend it.
Who spends more money than the Angels?
Right.
Where have they been?
He spent $141 million on a painting. So, yeah, you talk about spending your money wisely. Is that a sign of good things to come, or is that a sign that this guy's going to shell out a bunch of money to the wrong guys?
If you're just going to go out there and throw money around, that's why he's got to get the right baseball people in there. And you can't just spend money. You got to develop the draft. So, I mean, that's why him just owning the team to me doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Look, granted, I don't hate the Mets. I've said it 100 times. I don't hate the Mets. I want the Mets to be good. I want to be able to watch another good baseball team in this town. And I'm happy for Met fans that they feel invigorated and that they actually have a shot at being not being a laughing stock anymore. All true, right? But just because you got a rich guy owning the team doesn't mean that you're automatically going to be a World Series contender every year. There's still a lot of other things that need to fall into place.
I just want to say one thing, Ryan, real quick. As Yankee fans, we know this better than anyone that, yes, George Steinbrenner was a phenomenal owner, but there were times when he threw money out there just to get the big name and just to get the guy and just to have the biggest payroll. And we know better than any fan base that getting all these big guys does not translate automatically into a World Series win. I mean, after 2009, how many stupid moves did the Yankees try to make?
Spent a ton of money for
it
that
just didn't
following
work.
5 years, and they never really got close again.
It just never worked. And so you're right. There's different layers to this. Yes, he can have.
Look, if you look after from post 78 until 1994 ish. George spent a ton of money, and they never even sniffed the postseason.
Never.
How did they get good again? Gene Michael and their scouting department.
Steinbrenner had to get suspended.
Yes, he had to be whatever he did with Harry Spiro and all that bullshit with Dave Winfield, and he got thrown out. And Gene Michael was allowed to kind of run the team. That's how they got good again. And yes, they were able to sustain it because George had the money to re-sign Jeter and Bernie and Mo and all those guys. But those guys are there because he had the right people in place to make the right decisions.
Yeah,
if Steve Cohen doesn't get those guys in there, it doesn't matter how much money he has.
Someone left us a stupid fucking comment on Facebook when we posted a little teaser with the Bloomberg interview about Steinbrenner, asking if we talked about how Steinbrenner wanted to trade off the core for whatever. With big money and big moves comes some irrational thoughts. And
yes, but again, he didn't because of the people
yes,
that he had
exactly.
hired.
I'm just
told him
I'm
no.
backing up your point. I'm
Yes,
backing up your point.
okay.
So they need people in place for checks and balances there. Absolutely.
So
if you're a Mets fan though, how pumped are you over that presser with the I know Christian, you didn't like the 3 to 5 years thing, but if I'm a Mets fan, I'm pumped up. And I wanted to ask you guys who you think had the better whose press conference pumped up their fan base more? Was it Cohen this year or Gerrit Cole's last year? Two competing press conferences.
Gerrit Cole. There's nothing beat that. Nothing.
No, because if you're a Met fan, it's definitely. I mean, if you really looking at it on the surface, it's definitely Steve Cohen.
As a Yankee fan, I'm excited for the Mets. I am. For baseball, the Wilpons held that team down for so long. I'm actually so glad that they woke up and said, you know what, we don't deserve to have this team. We're going to sell it off. Yeah,
well, you know what? Last thing we'll say about the Mets here, unless you guys have any other points to make, is that Marcus Strowman is a loser.
Yes.
Loser.
Look, again, we're referencing old episodes, but go back. I forget which one it was, where Christian just annihilates Strowman.
Look, it couldn't have been more than 3 or 4 episodes ago.
Yeah.
Definitely in between the World Series.
I think it was right before the first Keep 'em Dump 'em.
Might have been on one of them. Could have been. But anyway, this is the difference between Trevor Bauer and Marcus Strowman. Trevor Bauer maybe doesn't even want to be a Yankee. You hear you know him and Gerrit Cole had beef back in their UCLA days, and but we don't know how Gerrit Cole stands on. He doesn't say anything about it, which is fine. He could hate Trevor Bauer's guts. I don't really care. But Bauer is not going to come out and say, I fucking hate Gerrit Cole, because guess what's going to happen if you say you hate Gerrit Cole? You're not going to get a phone call from the Yankees. Not that I think he's going to get one anyway, but still, you don't want to take the Yankees out of the equation.
Yeah.
Which is what he was doing by saying, hey, I want to work with Matt Blake. I have no beef with Gerrit Cole. And what does Marcus Strowman come out and do and say? Oh, I hate whatever he said. Oh, Yankees suck. I'm better than everybody on their team.
And he didn't just do it with the Yankees. He also said he would never play for the White Sox or Tony La Russa as their manager. That's just another layer to it. Stop taking teams off your list, dude. That's just that's
and what happened? Look, bro. First of all, you don't come out and say you are better than everybody on a certain pitching staff, right? One who is headed by a guy that said you were not a difference maker. So we know your butt still hurts about that.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay.
Hurting prep age.
You don't come out and say that and say only Gerrit Cole is in my league. Gerrit Cole is one. I mean, at worst, is Gerrit Cole the 3rd best pitcher in Major League Baseball at worst?
At his worst season, yes.
Okay. That he's in your league. The only guy on that team is in your league. Is at worst the 3rd best pitcher in Major League Baseball.
You guys aren't even on the same planet.
And then turn around and accept a qualifying offer.
Right.
Because why do you do that? Why do you accept a qualifying offer?
Because you know you suck.
Because you know that money is not out there for
you. Didn't we say that Strowman would be a guy that slipped through the cracks because he thinks he's better than he is, and he would want more money that teams aren't willing to dish out to a guy like him?
And that realization must have came to him real quick. Boom. That he knew he wasn't even going to sniff anywhere near 19.
Because you want to know what? If he did come in and ask for way more money than he was, you know what teams would have said to him?
Get the fuck out!
Gerrit Cole, Marcus Strowman would have been playing Sandlot baseball in February, waiting for somebody to call him.
At best. At best.
That's it. Let's. I think you want to bring something up, and then we got one more topic to discuss.
Well, yeah, we have a good listener of ours. Actually, he watches it. He's one of our YouTube followers. If you don't know, this show is also on YouTube. Check us out there.
Don't tube in it.
Don't tube in while you watch us on the YouTubing. So Willie Valerio, sorry. He wants to know what we think about this. He's been commenting, and I've just kind of got around to it now, but he wants to know what we think if the Yankees do get DJ back, if they would mess around possibly with Gio at shortstop because he's got the range and he's a good fielder, moving DJ over to third, that way you can put Glaber back at second and keep Voit at first. Would it be something that the Yankees actually even think about?
Hate it.
Well,
Yeah,
Chris, remember I kind of said that I wonder if they would consider ever playing Gio at short, and then you made it.
Urshela played at shortstop.
That's the problem.
No, then
We're
Chris,
taking
you made a good point when I said that he might have the range from third to first, but that shortstop you have to cover a bunch more ground.
Here's my thing, Willie.
What, like 6 games? And
I get I get where he's coming from to give us an alternative to keep DJ, keep Voit, and move Glaber off a shortstop. But for me, I'd rather have Glaber at shortstop than put a guy there who A is already phenomenal at third base. So I don't want to move him regardless. Mm-hmm. But B, I honestly think you're downgrading shortstop at that point and risking that just to move Glaber over to second. I honestly think he's more capable than just throwing Gio over there now out of nowhere. And ultimately, I mean, DJ can play anywhere. I really believe that. So you really wouldn't be downgrading over at third, but at this point, for me,
you're just moving too many things around.
You're moving too many things.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather just keep Torres at short and just hope he gets better. But this kind of goes into your next point, Christian, your tweet that you put out there.
Yeah, so because I think it's fair to ask that. Here we go. If the Yankees have to let go of one of the following players, who would it be and why? Voit, LeMahieu, Torres, and Urshela. The fans voted overwhelmingly to dump Voit with 60%, and it was Urshela at 20%, Glaber at 12%, and LeMahieu at 8%. We'll go around the room and then I'll read.
Who the fuck is the 8% voting for DJ?
Bro, you know how these fans are. Out of sight, out of mind.
Let's get into this.
So we'll go around the room and then we'll read what the fans had to say. So to me, the one guy that I wanted, that if I had to get rid of, would be Gio Urshela. That's my guy. I love Gio Urshela, don't get me wrong. But when we talked about the keep him, dump him, when we brought up Urshela, my take on him was kind of, I'd like to see him less.
Yeah,
you said maybe even a bench, put him on the bench.
I don't think it's really fair, to be honest.
But we're going to do a deep dive on this hypothetical of which one of these guys we're going to get rid of. And I'm going to tell you why it's him. And it's really not even close to for me. It's because, and this is why you got to let things play out sometimes. And we were discussing this after the 2019 season. I wouldn't even have thought twice about saying it's Luke Voit. But Luke Voit proved a lot to me this year. He's a guy I want on this team now. He's a guy unquestioned that I want on this team. He proved himself to be a leader and a gamer on this team. And on a team that guys where, they get a paper cut and they miss 60 games, he's a guy that I want on this team.
All right, so who are you putting at third? Miguel Andujar?
I mean, you'd have to make a move at this point. But if we're just discussing...
Not Andujar, though?
No, we're not bringing in Miguel Andujar. He's out of here.
Dude, he's got a bat. He's got a good bat.
Does that bat catch balls?
Listen, I get your point, and I guess the more you talk about it, the more I'm agreeing with you. I think Luke Voit was the overwhelming vote here because people are just automatically. I know Torres wasn't great at short, but he's still young. He can still get better. And I'm
not getting rid of Glaber Torres because I still think he's going to grow.
No, I'm just yes. What I'm saying is, Yankee fans right now, in their minds, think the biggest detriment to this team is Glaber Torres being our shortstop. And yes, did he prove to be somewhat of a liability in the field last year? Yes. But can he get better? Yes. At the expense of getting rid of Voit just to move DJ to first, where now you're moving DJ to first, a position that he's not the best at, and taking a Gold Glove caliber guy out of second base or third.
Well, LeMahieu can play third base if we get rid of Urshela and bring in a shortstop.
Yeah, well, then you make the move for Lindor. You move Glaber over, and I guess that is your best move.
And obviously,
As
I'm
much
not
as I love
DJ
Urshela, you know,
and then obviously, it's not DJ. I keep talking about, why would you even consider getting rid of the guy that's been your best player for the last 2 years?
it's never DJ. DJ's never the answer.
So to me, I mean, the easy choice for me is Gio Urshela. And
Yeah, you know what? I have to agree with you there.
Yeah, I voted Gio on the thing.
Taking it, isolating each player. I love Gio Urshela. Gio Urshela being on that list himself, I wouldn't want to vote for him. But when you take into account the other guys you're talking about here, he's the only one that really makes sense for me right now.
It's funny. The toss-up is between Gio and Luke Voit, and LeMahieu would be able to replace both of them.
Yeah, with ease.
yeah,
But
and
if you look at those four though, and if it's in terms of talent, I would say Gio's the guy to get rid of. If you're talking about in terms of what you can get back, then Luke Voit would be that guy for me. Would you think that teams would be more willing to give you more for Luke Voit than they would for Gio Urshela?
probably, but I wouldn't say it would be like a big difference.
It wouldn't be a huge difference, but I still think there'd be a little difference. But
I think you can probably get a bigger package for Luke Voit, but I don't think it would be something overwhelming.
He does have a bigger package for sure.
No, you would know.
My wife analyzes it all the time.
No, that's good. Anyway, we don't need to get into that right now.
She tubins during all the Yankee games.
All right. Anyway, no, I think we should just end the show.
Yes.
Tubin.
What were we even talking about?
Tubin.
Urshela being going bye-bye.
I mean, like I said, it's just, I think a lot of fans think that Luke Voit is easily replaceable, but I don't know, man. I just kind of like his leadership on this team right now.
Can I say one thing?
There needs to be some accountability, and I think Luke Voit played with a lot of accountability this past season.
Can I say one thing? After Teixeira, fell off the face of the earth, what's the one thing the Yankees have lacked ever since then?
Wait, after who fell off? You cut out.
After Teixeira fell off the face of the earth.
Defensive first baseman.
No,
they've lacked a lot of
first
things,
baseman.
but yeah, you want to make the point that they haven't had a.
Let's try off the top of your head, Christian, because you're good at this shit. You have your Rain Man when it comes to this. What other first baseman have they had since Teixeira?
Lyle Overbay.
Okay, who else? Chris Carter.
Didn't Chase Headley play over there?
There you go, little Headley, right? Little Headley, he was great.
Who else? I can't. I don't even remember. Did Ichiro play first base?
He probably did. Didn't they throw Posada out there? Was Posada still here when?
No, I think he retired in 2010, or 2011. So
I mean, think about how much they and first base was always a position the Yankees were fortunate to always have a guy who can put one in the seats there. You had guys
G-Man Choi was a Yankee in that time frame.
G-Man
Choi, who now wouldn't be a bad option. But I mean, the Yankees have always liked that. They finally got a guy who is not just a power hitting first baseman who can do some damage, but he is a leader, like you said. I mean, he was a proven leader this year. And that's not a guy that you just get rid of.
Greg Bird.
Oh, right. Greg Bird. He was good.
Well, I'm just looking at this on Baseball Reference. The Yankees leader in WAR for first baseman from 2009 to 2016 was Teixeira, except for in 2013 that was Overbay. And then it was Carter, Bird, Voit, and Voit. Well, Carter amazingly had a negative .8 WAR in 2017, and he was
no, that's believable. Pretty believable.
So,
I'd say his value wasn't really that high when he couldn't even catch a pickoff move.
Yeah, the Yankees. I mean, Pat. I guess what was it? 2013. You wanted to use the line of demarcation for when Teixeira really fell off. Yeah, from 2013 until really Voit stabilized it. The last couple of seasons, they really haven't had a consistent force at first base.
Remember that West Coast trip where the Yankee season fell apart? I forget what year.
Yeah, it was 2017.
2017 when they just fucking crashed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was all Chris Carter.
Yeah, that's I didn't.
Chris Carter started the whole thing.
Yeah, he did.
He literally started the whole thing.
I
Because then
heard about it.
Sabathia had to throw extra pitches. He pulled his hammy, and then it just fell. We fell
Yep.
apart.
That's it. And
Things
they
fell
lost like
apart.
10 straight.
Chinwa,
So
JB.
that's how good he was. That's how good he was. What are you staring at?
The dog?
Is he breathing?
Barely.
Do you have the code?
Right? What's the matter?
Oh boy.
You're in a deep sleep, huh?
This week on the NYYST podcast.
Okay, all right. I
Right,
just put a
okay,
dog.
dogs are
Okay.
dying. Okay.
Please excuse my dog.
Many dogs are
Okay.
dying.
All right. I just put
Dog,
No, to get into these deep
dog,
sleeps.
dog tested positive for COVID. Okay. And now he's not
I named it Bucky Lyle. Okay.
Barky
Alright.
Lyle.
Bucky Lyle. Okay.
All right, so let's give some shout outs and read some comments here for the fans. Where do we go? I lost it now.
You're so lost. All you can think about is the Giants right now. What time's that game? Maybe I'll watch.
1 o'clock.
You're gonna root for
Actually, we do have to bring up one
Yeah, I'm
other
gonna
thing
watch.
before we close out the show here. I just saw another tweet. We'll give a shout out to Little Gel here. Andrew Coleman says it's unfortunately Voit. DJ offers too much position flexibility as well as a rounded bat. Aren't all the bats rounded?
Didn't you say little gel and then you switched over to?
Yeah, no,
else?
I'm not going to read all the comments. I'm just going to shout out
Oh, you're
everybody.
shouting out. Okay.
But I thought all the bats were rounded, not just DJ's, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
DJ Brooks is back.
Torres can play both infield positions. There's actually 4 infield positions. You mean middle infield? I'm just going to pick these apart.
Yeah, you're just an awful human being.
Gio is too damn good with the glove.
Scrooge.
Appreciate Voit, but he's the odd man out. Mario, not Luigi, just Mario. Voigt's value is at an all-time high. We don't need power bats. Chris is gonna like this. First base is the most replaceable position.
Jesus God. I mean, you go over to first base. I'll throw a few in the dirt. Let's see if you can pick them.
Here, this is what I love. Erica, none. This choice is torture. Then I don't know what to
You know
tell you.
what? Fucking sue me.
Don't, yeah. Okay.
Thanks for
We'll shout out. Come on, Eileen. You can make of that
Yes.
what you
Come
want.
on, Eileen.
Also, Boo here. Boo Sullivan.
How does he
Voit
spell
trade
it?
him.
How does he spell it?
BOO.
No. How does he spell the name?
What?
COME?
No, the lady's name is Eileen. It's not a woman.
Oh,
Come on, Eileen. Okay.
got it. Like the song.
Yeah. Voit trade him on a high. You can do that.
Yeah. I get it. I get that. But honestly, what even at his highest, what are you getting in return for Luke Voit?
They're both in that same category of are they still flukes?
Are
Is
you
it Luke Voit
or Luke Voit?
or Luke Voit?
Are you calling up the Indians and trading Luke Voit, headlining a deal with Luke Voit to get Lindor? I mean, is that what they think the return is going to be on him?
I have no idea.
Because if that's the case, then of course. But even at his highest high, I don't think you're getting much of a return on Luke Voit. I think Ryan's right.
We'll shout out our buddy at Time is Vilmatic. We'll also shout. Kyle says Torres, DJ, and Gio are here to stay until retirement. Yeah, I don't know about that, but anyway.
What Kyle? What Kyle are we talking about here? Controversial Kyle?
No.
Schwarber? Yankees should sign him.
Well, Eric Bardez says no way you can let DJ go. We've already established he's one, if not the most important player on the team. Glay is a future star of the team. Then you're left with Gio and Luke. Gio is far superior at third than Luke is at first. Luke's power loss is safer than Gio's glove. I want to here we go. This is from some guy named Seth who responded to that, and he says Gio's glove is slightly above average. His glove is nowhere near as important as Voigt's bat. So Eric comes back and says, something blah blah blah. So here you go. Now I bust out the analytics. This is the analytic. He had a -1 outs above average, which is 28th out of 39 third basemen. In 2019, he was -2 in outs above average, 24 out of 34. His bat is what makes him valuable, not his glove. Voigt's bat is huge. especially with Judge staying on the IL. That was the counter to that I wanted to read.
Did you not see the plays he made in the postseason? I
It
mean,
doesn't
Wasn't he a
matter.
Gold Glove
it
finalist as
doesn't
well?
matter, right? You're
It
right.
doesn't matter because they play baseball on a computer now.
Right.
So I just wanted to point that out, that there are still people out there that don't watch baseball. They play it on a computer,
Right.
which is
On a
what
calculator.
on a calculator there. So I don't care what his outs above average is. I really don't. This
Don't
is where
even know what the
this shit loses me all the time.
Yeah,
Because I'm not
come
sitting
on,
there
bro.
watching Gio Urshela and saying, "Oh, he sucks. His outs above average has got to be."
That was one of the best plays I've ever seen. Not many third basemen
Yeah.
can make it, but his outs above average suck. Okay, go
I
home.
mean, look at that. I'll always reference that double play he turned with Chapman on the mound in the postseason this
Yeah,
year, and
off
tell
his
me
butt.
tell me that someone else is a more viable option than Gio Urshela. There's not much out there that's better than him.
All right, so let's run through the rest of these. Hunter Larson, I'll say Voit because his value is at an all-time high, and DJ can play first. I think that seems to be a prevailing
His
factor.
all-time high, but it's not. He still has more years left to
And I
really
still
get
don't
value.
want DJ at first base. I love
We got
Hunter
Christian
Larson.
Aguirre chiming in, and then we'll move on to Austin_Greg. A true Yankee fan would love to keep this infield, but if I had to pick, it's Voit because Gio's glove is alone to keep him around. Black Beanie Brian says, make sure to include why it's Luke Voit, but you didn't.
Black Beanie Brian.
Owen Murray, DJ LeMahieu, if the front office decides to prioritize spending at other positions. I don't really understand that.
No.
Okay, Mike Scudero. He wants us to pop his podcast. So he's the host of the Yappin' Yankees podcast. You can hear it on Sunday nights. But
Yappin' Yanks, get me on that show. Oh, right. We're gonna do a podcast next weekend. All right.
Yeah.
Review.
So we'll shout out
Yeah,
Mike
I'll
in the
look it up.
Yappin' Yankees podcast. So check them out. Billy SS, will shout him out.
How many more shout outs you gonna do?
Like 3.
Jesus.
Ed Wilden, he wants Voit. The other 3 are always healthy. Voit, Voit didn't miss any time with 1 foot this year. So
He literally only has one
Yeah,
foot.
really.
Keg Dog at Keg Dog. I suppose Voit would be the one, but Voit is probably. Oh, I don't give a shit what this says. All right, we're done here. And Scott and Jordan as well. You left replies, so cool.
Let me just say one thing about LeMahieu real quick. I want to make sure that you guys realize that I think LeMahieu is somebody that this team has to sign, and that this team does need in a lot of ways.
You just don't think they're prioritizing it.
Yes, but my view and my argument is more in line, at least what I think that the Yankees are planning on doing this offseason. So that's more of what my argument was. But in terms of DJ LeMahieu, yes, this guy needs to be a New York Yankee for the rest of his career. He is the prototype of what you'd want in New York.
Okay.
So please go out and sign this guy. I just don't see it happening, and that sucks.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
And that's
All right.
that.
So I want to bring this. We're a little longer than I thought we'd be, but I do want to bring this up because I don't know if we'll get to it again. Now you hear the rumors again that the Yankees and Mets are both interested in bringing Yadier Molina. And then there was a report out there earlier this week that Brian Cashman is listening to offers on Gary Sanchez. So that meant that we were definitely trading Gary, which it doesn't mean that at all. And the report actually means absolutely nothing to me, because I think Brian Cashman listens to offers on everybody. If somebody called and asked what it would take to get Gerrit Cole, I'm sure Brian Cashman would sit there and listen to that as well.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that he's looking to trade anybody. I just think if Brian Cashman's doing his job, which I would assume that he is, he's just listening to offers.
Can I make a comment on Sanchez real quick?
What's that?
We talked about this a couple weeks ago, bringing Yadi here, and the really how much it doesn't make sense to get rid of Sanchez. Like at worst case, you bench him, right? But here's why Cashman is openly saying he's taking offers on him, or he'll listen to offers. Sanchez is a guy where we've seen so many trade offers come in one-sided for guys Yankees wanted to get, and other teams came back with some unrealistic package that they wanted back. Sanchez is a guy where Cashman can try and flip the script a little and turn the tables around and say, look, you really want Sanchez? I want some unrealistic package. And if a team does happen to say yes, fuck it, but they're not going to. And Cashman knows that. So it does no harm to say that. And you know what? He wants Sanchez to know he's expendable at this point. He needs to light some type of fire under his ass.
What are you going to get for Gary Sanchez
Right,
right now?
exactly.
A middle reliever? You think the Yankees are going to cut bait
Great
on
point,
Gary
Chris.
Sanchez for a fucking middle reliever?
Right. It's Cashman's opportunity
Let's go.
to take it
100%,
to at least shove it back in other teams' faces a little bit and say, okay, you want to do this to me for the last 3
Yes.
years?
Every
Gary
single
Sanchez.
trade with the Yankees has been
You've
exactly
seen what
that.
Sanchez's ceiling can be. So give me back all these unrealistic play. Give me back this package, and you can have Sanchez. No problem.
Just another thing that could maybe light some sort of spark in this guy with Higashioka kind of starting. Well, not kind of. He was benched for Kyle Higashioka in the postseason. That lights him. This does the same thing. So it seems like it could be a move. Yeah, let's put a flyer. Hopefully, maybe someone will do it. But also, it's a move to maybe try and get this guy going again. So
I think Gary realizes that he needs to put in the work. That's why he's playing winter ball. Guys at Gary Sanchez's level don't go and play winter ball unless they're coming off major injuries.
Yeah.
Damn, yeah.
So just to reference the report that the Yankees are interested in Molina. Now, a lot of fans, you couple that with, Cashman's listening to offers on Gary. Yeah. Anyway, that Cashman is listening to offers on Gary, which, fans run with that. And that means that, we're trading Gary and Yadier Molina is going to be our starting catcher. All right. First of all, that's not, I would not go that way at all. Like if you're bringing in Yadier Molina, you're bringing him in because what is he, 38, 39 years old?
Right. You're bringing him in as a guy to take him under his wing.
You're bringing in Yadier Molina to kick Gary Sanchez's ass and show him what it's like to be a leader on a baseball team. You're not bringing him in to replace Gary Sanchez because prospects are prospects until they do something. I don't understand the Yankees are drafting a lot of catching prospects, but again, until I see one of them up here doing something, I can't get too excited over anything.
Who was the catcher? Who were the catchers when Gary had his first full season as the Yankees catcher?
Well, they traded Brian McCann because of Gary Sanchez.
Right. So
Gary came up in 2016.
So Gary's never had that.
He's never had competition.
Who was it that Posada hated? I can't
AJ
think.
Burnett.
No. Who was the other catcher that he? Oh no, it was Girardi. Girardi hated Posada.
I don't. He just was.
He didn't like him.
He realized that Posada was there to get Girardi out.
But my point is, Sanchez kind of got thrown into the fire, which I love. But as a young catcher who's more of an offensive catcher, obviously, than defensive, he's never had that veteran presence to kind of take him under his wing and make him a better player. And again, I just think it would make all the sense in the world to get Yadi here if you can. And it's not like Yadier Molina is like some automatic out right now. He's still Yadi Molina. I mean, the dude can still play.
Look, my whole point is that I'm not making decisions on my catching position based off of what Kyle Higashioka did to end 2020.
Right.
Which I think a lot of fans are like, Kyle Higashioka.
No, come on. I'm going to steal the words right out of here. It's Kyle Higashioka. Okay. We love him. He's a good dude. He seems like a really nice guy. He gets into a few and hits some dingers. He got some big base hits in the postseason. But it's Kyle Higashioka. He is not the answer. He knows he's not the answer. He's not trying to be the answer.
Look, you're bringing Yadier Molina to kick Gary Sanchez's ass, and if it doesn't work and Gary Sanchez we can officially stamp Gary Sanchez as a bust here.
It's a stamp.
I was shouting out George Springer there.
Trying to get him on the team.
Yeah, I am.
We're crude. We don't care.
I mean, if you haven't picked that up yet, then you're just.
That's why people listen to us. That's why
I just don't know what you're listening to. Then
that's why people listen to us.
this is not polished. This is not a polished thing where
you're not going to get a politically correct podcast here. Okay?
Anyway,
We're going to go off the cuff.
Anyway, what was I saying?
This is stamped.
I was stuttering. Please.
Please don't do this to me.
Yeah, and if it doesn't work, if Gary Sanchez doesn't get that fire lit under him by Yadi Molina, then fuck it. It's over.
Right.
It's over.
Look,
and then Yadi is your catcher in 2021. And then what's the word? That's still better. That's still a better course of action than saying, hey, Kyle, you're my starting catcher.
Okay.
No.
Any Yankee fan listening to this, I think the biggest problem with fans across all sports and all teams is that you don't weigh risk to reward enough. You just look at what's in front of you and you say, ugh, that doesn't seem sexy to me. But okay, so we'll go back to just getting rid of Gary Sanchez. What is that doing for you? You're not getting shit back. And we know what he's capable of. So there's no point of doing that. And what's the risk of bringing Yadi here? But at worst, it doesn't work out, and Sanchez still has a shitty season.
And you have your answer finally on Gary Sanchez.
Yes. I mean, there's no risk. There's just no risk. There's all reward. It can't be worse than any other alternative. Is really what it comes down to.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just, I hate that we have to have this conversation.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, you know what? Gary Sanchez has hit under 200 the last two.
Under
seasons.
200. What did he hit
in 2019?
Yeah, he did. He hit.
2019 he hit 230.
I think he hit
2020. Yeah. Oh, in 2019 he hit 232 with an OBP
36 home runs, 96 RBIs.
34-77.
34-77. I mean,
34 home runs.
It's a great year.
But how about this year though?
Yeah,
147 batting average and a 253 on base percentage.
Yeah, I mean
that on base is kind of respectable.
Yeah, for that. Yadi had a 303 on base this year, 262 batting average.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're not bringing Yadi here and Molina here to light up the world.
No. He's had an on-base percentage of 300 or greater in every single year of his career except one.
That doesn't mean anything. How high in 300? Because
340, 349, 366, 349, 373,
very respectable for
359. Yeah,
who are we talking about? Sanchez?
No, Molina. It's not that deviation of 100 though from the batting average most years, but
you know what Yadi brings you though? He just brings
gold glove.
He brings you some confidence. He brings you stability. He's
9 gold gloves.
He's the guy who so many catchers out there that are elite defensive catchers are true automatic outs at the plate. And Yadi was an elite catcher behind the plate and was still a big hitter in your lineup. And he just brought the whole package, man.
I bring in the Molina brothers. I bring them all in.
I'll bring them all
on the bases. Jose.
I get Jose back. What's Jose Molina doing right now? He's drinking beer.
Let's get Jose Molina on the pod.
I'll get Jose Molina on. I loved Jose.
All right, so we're talking about asset allocation, right? You know, George Springer is not going to happen, even though it kind of does make sense. This is something that the Yankees can do.
Yeah,
this is something the Yankees can do that can make the team better.
Beyond feasible. Beyond.
So,
I guess we'll see. Can we wrap up? My wife is yelling at me now. She needs.
Why?
Oh, he's the catching coach for the Angels.
Why are you doing the show in a recliner now?
Oh, I wait until next show when I get set up a little better and I'm actually reclined back the entire show. I can't wait.
You're gonna get cut off.
I'm so comfortable right now.
Okay. So we'll see. You know, free agency is
speech problems today. You having problems with your throat? You got the Rona?
He really wants the Yankees to sign Springer.
Yeah.
It's just really pulling for him here.
Please don't do this to me.
Please.
So-
Today.
I don't know when we'll see the first big domino in free agency drop. Things might be a little bit different this year with the winter meetings going virtual. You know, there's a lot of when a lot of the moving and shaking gets done. So as we approach Thanksgiving, which is remarkably a week from Thursday, well, how this year is
still on? Thanksgiving's still on?
Well, no, you got to, you live with 6 other people, so
I got to
have
kick people out of my house. Actually,
if you want more guests, you need to kick some people out. Like
I'll kick my kids out.
like how Callie is what 11 months old now.
Yeah,
be
she
11?
can go. She can.
She's not going to eat dinner, so you can put her outside.
It'll probably be warmer out too. Chris, if you have any more kids, you're gonna start getting fined
That's true.
for having too many people in your house.
Yeah,
It's true.
right.
I'll
Bro,
stick
you
Kelly
gotta-
right
you
in the
gotta-
car. I'll leave the window down, and I'll turn the
This
car
up to me.
on.
Yeah, you could do
Jack's
that
a
too.
light
in the
eater, right? Your
garage though.
son-
Make sure it's in the
Your
garage.
son's a light eater. He's probably not going to really have a big
Mm.
dinner.
If I don't feed him for a couple days leading
eats
up
more
to
than me.
Thanksgiving, he'll eat a lot,
Yeah, but so feed him the night before.
and then kick his ass out too.
Yeah, so that takes care of too. Then like Ryan and your dad, and they can come
Right.
down
Right, more than invited to come. By the way,
by yourself as of right now, though.
Yeah. No, I'll wear a mask too.
I'll keep you updated on the status of my children.
Yeah, maybe I'll just do a virtual
So
like they're asking us to do.
Yeah. All right. So anyway,
I hear your baby crying.
You
We should
hear
really
that?
wrap up before we all get in trouble.
I don't
And for
care.
Ryan,
me.
smart one.
No, I got a dog downstairs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's barking. Yeah, I got to take care of
So
it.
we all got to go.
I think the anti-anxiety medication I gave my dog is working too well. Anyway, let's
Truth
wrap this up. What happened?
The truth comes out. That's why you're scared that he's dead. Fucking giving him Xanax.
No, they make that shit for
They
dogs.
do. Yeah, dogs.
Did you ever take one?
Huh?
Did you ever take one?
You want me to?
I don't
I know someone who did, and it scared the shit out of me. Some of the stuff he
You
was
told me that.
texting us.
Oh,
It
you
was
showed me
really
those
bad.
texts. Wow,
He had a
that was
whole bar
scary.
of his doggy's Annie bar, and
You
it
want?
was the
You know,
weirdest.
I'll mail.
conversation I've ever
Ryan's
had.
lives close enough. He can come pick one up, and then
I'll do it on the show. I'll take half of one.
Yeah, I'll do it.
And we'll
Yeah,
all
no,
drop
I'll
dogs.
take it a half
Xanax.
hour before we start.
We'll all
filming.
drop dogs Xanax on the show.
I'm down. Let's do
Boom.
Let's do a guess the drug segment. I'll take a
Oh.
drug and you have to guess.
All right. Anyway.
Deal.
Okay. Thank you for listening to episode 202 of the NYY Sports Talk podcast. We hope you come back next week after we said we were going to drug ourselves and the dogs around us. Please follow us on Twitter, 5-star rating and review, all that good stuff. Stat guy, Rye.
Go Yanks.
Chris, say goodbye.
Peace.